What's going on, guys? It's your boy Jesse19 back with another Gotham Knights reaction video. Today we're doing the last of the IGN First preview of Gotham Knights. It's Gotham Knights Preview. This is the last video we're going to be doing from IGN. Hopefully there's more videos from other places, or maybe even more Gotham Knights video that Gotham Knights even puts out. But for right now, please stick around, watch my reaction. This is the first time I'm watching it. Like I said, I usually try to do these after I come home from work. It is now like 7:30 in the morning right now. I just got home around like 6:50 in the morning. We're gonna be watching this. We're gonna be reacting to this. I cannot wait. I still cannot wait for this video. Please, just at least give this like a like, maybe like a 1 thumbs up or 2 thumbs up. I don't know. And just let me know in the comment section what you guys think. But enough talking. Let's just get into this video. Let's go.
Come to watch the show, Red Hood.
Nah, I'm just here to kick your ass.
Hold on. I want to make sure you guys can, Alright. We can edit this out, don't worry.
As part of our visit to Warner Brothers Games Montreal, we got to see a lot of Gotham Knights being played.
Just grabbing a
we
water.
weren't able to go hands-on with the game ourselves, and that makes a traditional preview a little difficult. Without having had a controller in our hands, it's hard to say how combat, working through missions, or making gear choices feels. And with
So
that
then
in
you
mind,
get
this
to
preview will
play.
be a little more structural.
I'll try not
With
to
the
talk
help
through
of
the video
game's
that much.
developers, we'll walk you through how Gotham Knights is put together, revealing brand new information about the open world, how supervillains fold into the fabric of the wider game, the game's neat approach to a
Batgirl,
day-night
baby!
cycle, and more.
Sorry, I'm trying not to talk.
As we've spoken about previously this month, Gotham Knights' world is aiming to feel like a real city, with centuries of history behind it. Part and parcel with that is how truly open it is. The developers ensured that almost the entirety of their Gotham is open from the very beginning, with each of its 5 boroughs different traversal opportunities, different threats, different activities, and different characters. But the team also wanted to create the sense of a city reacting to the presence of new vigilantes.
Look how good this
streets.
is.
I would say we start off the game in a pretty cold version of Gotham. The police don't like you. The citizens don't like you.
Oh, wow.
And over time, the tone evolves because you identify major threats to the city. You can find out to a certain extent what's going on beneath the surface in Gotham, and you gradually build the confidence of the citizens.
Of course, some will always be on your side, and a group of citizens called the Watch act as an informant network for the Knights, offering up missions that will help stitch their parts of the city
friendly
back together,
people.
all
That's
of
pretty
which
cool.
will see you head out into the darkness to help bring some light back to Gotham. As it turns out, Dark Knights in training like to come out during, well, dark nights. Key to Gotham Knights is that it's not a game with a shifting, continuous day-night cycle. Rather, the entire game is set over consecutive nights, with new crimes emerging every evening,
Oh,
and
wow.
villain storylines progressing alongside your work to stop them. The only time you'll see daylight in the main game is inside the Knight's headquarters, the Belfry, where you'll plan for what to do after the next sunset.
Whoa, was that an arcade
The
machine?
central loop of the game experience in Gotham Knights is what we call our Belfry loop. When you exit the Belfry, it's always nighttime. You don't have to worry about when the sun's going to come up. But in the course of that night, there are going to be some crimes and other activities that are happening in the streets of Gotham that are premeditated. They were predetermined by whoever was going to commit them, the day before. When you complete a night of crime fighting, and it's up to the player to decide when they're done, but like it could be a case of them saying, well, I think I've hit most of the major crimes.
So you could spend like 12 hours on one night.
Or it could be the case of them saying, I learned what I needed to learn, and now I need to go back to the Belfry to advance the story, for example. Then you return to Belfry, and now it's daytime.
Crimes in Gotham Knights come in many forms. They can range from procedurally generated muggings right up to entire gangs running complex operations. And the more you foil, the more you'll learn about crimes to come.
We wanted this concept of information scarcity. So you need to find stuff out about the city night after night.
So like how you did
have a
Riddler
kind of
trophies in Gotham Knights.
activity queue that you can be tracking and deciding, okay, I think that's going to be
Speaking
more
of which,
for me to
I
take
wonder
on.
if he's
It's
going
more
to
interesting
be in the
to me
game. We
because
haven't seen anything
It maps
yet.
better to one of the challenges that I'm trying to complete. or maybe this has direct impact.
Oh, that's how
on
you change characters?
finding that next chapter in the larger mystery, right? So there's a lot of different reasons why a player might choose to go after one particular crime or another.
Unlike the game's checkpointed story missions, if you fail a crime, there's no opportunity to replay that exact situation again. It's all part of the superhero learning
Oh,
process.
that's
Once you
awesome.
end a night,
Okay.
crimes are reset.
So if
That
you
night
fail,
is
you're
over.
basically kind of
The
screwed
crimes that
ish.
you didn't solve continued unabated, and now you're
You
in
lose out
a
on
situation
XP,
where you can look at what's coming
essentially.
up for the next night. So maybe you've collected
And
enough
materials,
clues
probably.
that you're going to know in advance. Oh, there's going to be a heist at the bank, or there's going to be an armored car robbery, or someone's going to try to break somebody out of prison. You know, in addition to that, there's a bunch of things you don't know about, right? There's all of the other crimes that haven't been revealed, and you can find out about them through patrolling.
It's a system designed to keep offering new ideas without
open
feeling
world, okay.
inauthentic to how a real city might work. But of course, in a comic book city, not all crimes are created equal. Sometimes in your nightly patrols, you'll stumble across information that points to a much bigger, more recognizable threat.
Did you miss me?
We were shown precisely nothing of the game's main story campaign after its tutorial. The team clearly wants to keep its take on the beloved Court of Owls storyline as close
Yeah,
as
we
the
haven't seen
group
anything
itself. But the
single
game's
player
villain
except for that
storylines
tutorial.
aren't necessarily a part of that darker conspiracy. Like any good comic book world, multiple supervillains are running riot across Gotham simultaneously, each with their own agendas. In Gotham Knights, that means that supervillain arcs are optional side stories taking place over multiple
I mean, they
nights
were kind of
and made
always
part of the
optional
open
anyway.
world itself, not just story dungeons. As you learn more about the villains taking on specific missions along the way, your Belfry evidence board will begin to grow, connecting clues to evidence and eventually letting you trigger what the team calls a villain night.
You know, when we talk about villain nights, we sometimes refer to them as epic villain crime, and it's because we always wanted the villains to be menacing Gotham City. We didn't want it to be a case of, oh, I'm going to go into this sort of bubble dungeon universe and Gotham somewhere else, and I'm just engaging with them here. And sometimes that means we do some fundamentally, you know, big changes, right? We like encase Elliott Center and ICE. In the case of, you know, one of the later missions in the Harley Quinn arc, Gotham City Hospital is going to be, you know, invaded and is going to be thrown into chaos.
While it's very possible that these optional arcs could illuminate the main storyline somehow, the impression we got is that these standalone villains are there to enrich the sense of Gotham as a true comic book city with multiple threats to stave off at one time. And that applies to the town's gangs as well. As we've talked about before, Gotham Knights factions aren't just goons for a supervillain, although they certainly can be. Instead, they populate the city themselves, causing various flavors of mayhem depending on their affiliation. So far, we've seen the Freaks and the Regulators, and some of our footage has made mention of Red Hood's hatred for the mob.
Hey look, more scumbag looking for a beat.
This feeling of criminal elements spreading across the city is intended to get across the endlessness of the superhero's job. You're not able to wipe out a faction from the map, you're simply stymieing their work.
That's
You can
cool. That's
clean
cool.
Gotham
There's
of crime for a night. But you
forgot
can
what
never
game does that,
stop
but there's
it.
something
Even
like that.
Batman
I think like
wasn't
maybe
capable
Watch
of
Dogs
that,
or
and neither
something.
are you.
Practically, that means there will always be crimes to fight and combat to be had, but factions also provide another service. Each one is tied to specific gear, crafting materials, and other unlocks, which you'll use to beef up your heroes. We've covered Gotham Knights' many superhero suits previously, but that was very much from the cosmetic angle. From a more gameplay-driven angle, players will be able to craft gear that alters their hero's armor, melee, and ranged items, offering stat boosts and elemental damage changes. Crafting that gear comes down to two things: having the blueprint and the materials to make it.
All of the gear is created through crafting. There are flavors of gear, and it applies in slightly different ways.
I mean, I
to
wonder if we
suits
get gear
and
for,
melee weapons
like,
and ranged
doing
weapons,
missions
but
as
what
well?
they kind of have in common is this focus on these elemental damage types: cryogenic, freezing damage, thermal damage, electrical damage, poison, stun. These kinds of
Poison.
And those interactions should become doubly interesting.
Oh, I know what I'm building now.
Player into the world. From
Poison
day one,
damage, baby,
the Gotham
no
Knights
dot
team has
damage.
made clear that its take on two-player co-op is completely untethered, meaning one player can theoretically explore another's world without ever having to meet them.
Anytime you're playing in Gotham City as opposed to inside a story dungeon as part of one of the beats of the main mystery of the storyline, you're untethered. It also provides the most organic kind of superhero meetup opportunity where you think your buddy is with you and then he disappears for a while because he got distracted by something and you found a collectible.
That's
and then a second
freaking
later
awesome.
you look up on a rooftop and a batarang comes out of nowhere and here's Batgirl and she's here to help you stop a crime.
Of
That's
course, this could
awesome.
throw up issues
That's a
of how
good thing.
progression works for players and how players at different parts of the story
Yeah, I
can
wonder
interact.
how's that gonna
The
work.
solution is elegantly unfussy. Characters of different levels will scale so that they somewhat match. Enemies will also
Okay.
scale to the player's levels, and most importantly, progression matters to the host and the guest.
Oh.
When you're in Gotham, the host is their story, but 100% of your hero progression is your own. And then once you return to your own Gotham, time essentially restarts in your own story. If you completed a major story beat, a villain arc, dungeon against the Court of Owls while playing with a friend, when you get to that part in your own story, the game will ask you, do you want to play it again? Or do you want to just kind of say,
What?
you did this part inside
that's
the
good.
universe and we'll just fast forward you through it.
That's good. And
Despite
Borderlands
watching
has that
hours of the game
something,
being
has something
played
like
live,
that.
there was a lot we weren't allowed to see. The game's main story missions are still a mystery to us, even down to how they're
Yeah.
unlocked or displayed on the map.
Yeah.
More intriguingly, the team repeatedly made reference to an endgame for Gotham Knights, but
Endgame?
steadfastly refused to talk about it. Given the game's action RPG structure, it wouldn't be hugely surprising to find that it included an MMO-style raid of some kind, or with a focus on the open world.
Raid?
and
Wait,
evolving
what?
Space, if Gotham itself was materially transformed by the effects of the Court of Owls. We
We're gonna
don't
talk
know
about that
yet.
after this.
The biggest outlier for us is in how the game feels to play for an extended period of time. Combat certainly looks interesting, perhaps a tad heavier than the Arkham series it will be compared to, and with a much bigger focus on using special abilities you've earned along the way. Getting around the city, whether by parkour, grappling hook, bike, fast travel paradrops, or the hero's unlockable abilities, feels like a genuinely fun first affair as well. But Gotham Knights will live and die on how these things string together, and how those smaller
Yeah.
moments make its larger structure, those nights of patrols, crime fighting, and clue gathering, feel as compulsive as the team hopes for. There's no doubting the enthusiasm and belief at the studio, but this game will be made by how it feels once it's finally allowed to be in our hands. This marks
God,
the
I
end
can't
of
wait,
our month
guys.
of IGN First content, but if you want to
Okay,
go all the way
okay,
back to the
okay,
start, we've got
okay,
16 minutes of
okay,
opening
okay.
gameplay from the game. We've also got a
All right,
picture
all
of
right.
how the team
This is
made
what we're gonna
the
do. This is what we're gonna do.
Gotham City.
So, I think,
Key to Gotham Knights is that it's
excuse me,
not a game
I think, first of all, that was wonderful. Even though we didn't get to, even though IGN didn't really get to play single player games, single player, the story, anything at all besides the tutorial, they were showing a lot of the stuff, like not story mission wise, but or the main story wise, but you know what we seen with the villains and stuff like that. I'm very impressed with this preview. Like regardless, I was gonna get it, but if I wasn't like into this game, I would probably get it. Just like from this preview. First of all, this Endgame. Yes, give me some Endgame, guys. That's what we need. No offense to Avengers. Avengers was like I'll live and breathe and die on that hill. Even though Avengers was bad, or not bad, but wasn't good, I still love Avengers. I still play Avengers from time to time today. Like every now and then, maybe like once or twice a week for like maybe 1 or 2 hours, just just to get some grinding and whatever. But and then he said a raid, in Batman. What? That's dope. I do have a theory because they said raid, and that's why I said I wanted to talk about it after the video. Like I said earlier, so when they said, "Oh, there's gonna be collecting information about the baddies or like the side missions, whatever, the crimes, right?"
It's all part of the superhero learning process. Once you end a night, crimes
this is
are
not it,
reset.
but-
That night is over. The crimes that
But
solve.
so like if you guys played, I'm pretty sure most of you guys played Arkham Knight. When in Arkham Knight, you go, and when you first find the Riddler, you do the thing, and then there's when you use Detective Vision, there's green cars or green people, highlighted green cars or highlighted green people. There you go, and you interrogate them, and you find out I guess like more stuff with the Riddler, more collectibles for the Riddler. So we haven't seen anything with Riddler at all. Not even in this villain trailer. We got Clayface, we got Harley, We did get a Poison Ivy. We got Penguin there. I don't think we've seen Two-Face. So we got Clayface, Harley, Freeze, Clayface, Harley, Freeze, Penguin, right? Those four villains. We haven't seen Poison Ivy. We haven't seen Two-Face. We haven't seen Riddler. So those three could possibly be more likely. I feel like the Riddler is gonna be more of like the raid, and then maybe a Two-Face one would be a raid. And then I think that's really about it. But oh my god, that would be so cool if like, yeah, we haven't seen anything about the Riddler, but that would be so cool if we get one of those three villains as like a raid. But I'm betting on Riddler's definitely will be a raid. If not, then you know, whatever. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning into the I was gonna say stream, to this video. This was great. This was awesome. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Let me know down below what you guys think. And hopefully we get some more. I mean, we technically have like, so it's technically August 1st, September 1st now, where I'm at in the East Coast, Beast Coast. So we have around a month and like 20 days left. So we have like 50 days left, I believe. I mean, my countdown's wrong, but let's just say 50 days left for this game. Hopefully there's some more videos or more information about this game. If not, then I don't want to go starving without any content, or not content, but any information. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning into this video so much. And I'll see you guys in hopefully another video soon. Later, guys.